talk about how you met your husband. Did you guys meet at a bar?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't even supposed to be out that night.
Weren't you?
No, I just moved to Sydney, and it was a real, God, I had this this year from hell where I'd met up with my estranged father after 20 years,
Right.
and then he died, and then I got offered a job in Sydney. I broke up with my boyfriend of 5 years, and I moved to Sydney all on my own.
Just a little bit of shit there.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough year. It was that that year you turned 28. What do they call it? Saturn return.
Yes.
Yeah, where everything the universe just picks your life up and just goes, all right, start again, and just turns everything upside down. So, you know, I came to Sydney and I was working huge hours on the Today Show, and you know, I was living on my own because that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Live on your own.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
going through turmoil. It was the worst. I was so lonely and I was so sad and I was so cold. Sydney was so freaking cold coming from Queensland. Yeah, and then a girlfriend just dragged me out. A girlfriend I knew from Brisbane dragged me out and then left me in the bar. She went home.
Your kids were there by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I just was at the bar and I went to walk outside to light a cigarette, my old life. And this tall, strapping man walked over to me and said, "Are you going out for a cigarette?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can I come?" I'm like, "Oh, do you smoke?" And he's like, "No, I'm a passive smoker." It was so cheesy.
Wow.
He thinks it's the funniest line ever, but it worked. Yeah, so the rest was history. Yeah.
So from that night, and then did you exchange numbers that night, and was it just game on?
It was game on. Yeah, he came back to my house for no funny
Oh,
business.
dirty bird!
I swear to God, we sat up and drank cups of tea and chatted all night.
wow.
Yeah, he was just fabulous.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and so normal.
Yeah.
So normal. He's in
how good's
IT.
normal?
He's he's out of this media game.
Yeah.
You know, he's a cool dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
My big
nice.
red.
Oh. Does he still have his Coke bottle glasses?
No, he had eye surgery.
Oh, did he?
And when he he had Coke bottle glasses and a patch over one eye because he was cross-eyed.
Oh, bless.
He was up against it.
Wow.
And now, but he's had
He
surgery.
probably couldn't believe his luck when you said, "Yeah, come and have a passive
I'm
ciggy with
the
me."
lucky one. I'm the lucky one. He is such a legend. But like when he's really annoying me, and we have a fight, I'll go, "I think your eye's starting to turn." Why are you being so mean to me? Like, check your eye. It's not. I'm looking in the mirror. It's like, yeah, but you can't see it. You can't see the fact that it's going cross-eyed again.
Oh, that is funny. And then tell me about how he proposed.
We were together for a really long time before he proposed. I think it was like 6-7 years.
Did you think, were you like, this is not, were you always someone that wanted to get married or not really?
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know. You know, I wasn't sure. I wasn't entirely sure. And it took me completely by surprise.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, we went for dinner and just this Italian joint that we love, and it was first place that we had our first date actually, which was nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, do you want to go for a walk?" And I'm like, "Not really." Like, I was such a cow. Like, and I wonder if I subconsciously knew that he was going to propose and just thought, look, I just want to put him through his paces just one last time.
Right.
Because I was like, no, I just want to go home, watch Law and Order. And he's like, no, come on, go for a walk along the beach. And okay, and let's go for a walk. And, you know, and he's like, oh, let's go over to this like little island part. There's this little island off the beach where you can cross via a bridge. And he's like, let's sit down at this park bench. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh my God, how did you just not run?
Oh, no.
What a cow. But yeah, he was all very proper, got down on his knee and asked me to be his wife.
Oh, and were you like straight away like, yes?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty special.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm not married. Sam and I, we've been together about 642 years, but we'll never get married. But if he was to propose to me now, I would freak out.
Would you? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, neither of us have really been interested. We've got kids and mortgages to our eyeballs, so we're like, this is it, we're in this. But I still am like, don't ever, like, if we're ever going to get married, let's just discuss it. I still would panic if I saw him get down and propose.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, for me, it's a kind of a sense of, it's a sense of feeling really safe.
Yeah.
His
yeah,
family,
I know what you mean.
His
yeah.
family has never had a divorce.
Wow.
They've had one annulment. That's it.
Geez, I hope you don't fuck that. I hope you're not the first.
Well, that's I know, and that is pressure, right?
Yeah, seriously.
And he's very Catholic family.
Yeah.
And he's like, we don't divorce in our family. We make stuff work.
I really like that. You know what? Sometimes I feel like, and this is, every relationship's different, but you fall in and out of love a million times in your relationship.
Yeah.
And the other day, I had an older lady say to me, the best thing is the best thing for a long-lasting relationship, or the way that it works, is falling in and out of love at opposite times. Oh. So then you can keep going if one of you is still really in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's not that you fall really badly out of love, but I sometimes don't. You go through stages where you don't feel much. You know, and I the other day said to Sam, it's weird that at times you're not really in love with me, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to think about that, because I'm like, if I have those feelings, he does too.
Yeah, yeah.
But just to fall back in love with each other as opposed to going, I'm done with this, I'll find someone else.
But isn't that kind of the whole point of being in a partnership as well, that sometimes the other person's just got to pick up the ball and run with it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Christmas is often a hard time for me. I get a bit weird and funny around Christmas,
Right.
and I was a bit off this Christmas, and Tom just knew that it was time for him just to step up and, you know, just to run things and make everything okay.
Yep.
And there have been times as well, like the middle of the year for him is really tricky because he runs his small business and he's just so under the pump. And I know that that's my cue to step in and just have it all sorted out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, you know, and I think it's wonderful that no fault divorce exists in Australia. But at the same time, I think this day and age, you know, we've got the attention span of a dead fly. You know, everything's 140 characters. We've got 6-second Vine videos. Yeah. You know, you're scrolling through news websites at 100 miles an hour. Everything, you know, you want fast fashion, you want fast friends. You know, it's just so easy to always have a foot out of the door. Yeah. And to not fix anything and to persevere with anything anymore. And Tom's been very good at sort of teaching me that you don't always have to, it doesn't always have to be scorched earth policy if things aren't quite going your way. You don't always have to go, that's it. Yeah. I'm out. I'm done. Like you fight for things in life and you build things, and it's kind of part of the journey of life. Yeah. Life's rich tapestries,
it's
if you
true
will.
Though,
yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. And how has Paul coming along changed your relationship?
Oh, I think he's made me a better person. Yeah. And I don't like, no, it's not that I don't like it, but look, I don't think a child completes anyone. No. You know, I don't think that's a thing, but he's definitely added a new dimension to me and makes me, it gives me a much better perspective on the world and on things and on life. Yeah. He's definitely brought us close. Like it is pathetic how obsessed Tom and I are about Paul. We are.
Oh, I thought you were going to say about each other, which I was cute, but that's cute. Would have been more impressed.
And do you know what? Like, I think as well, we need to have a bit more parent time because we're just so utterly in love with this child. Like,
and how sick is it? As soon as they go to bed, you like just stare at like.
Or we go. Should we go in and see our son? Oh. We like looking. He's like lying there. We're like, he's just so perfect. He's so adorable. Like it's pathetic.
Oh, no, it's it's the best, and it's so normal though, isn't it?
But do you worry about like the second child? Like how like the second child just doesn't even get a look in.
No. You know, I was with Bax, my first son. I knew every part of his body and personality, and Arlo's nearly 3, and sometimes I'm like, oh shit, you're here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because the time you have to just indulge with that first baby.
Yes.
And I remember with Bax, I would go in and pick him up from his cot every single night for 2 years. Arlo,
what?
I don't even go in and look at him. I would just, while he was asleep, I'd go in and cuddle him every
just
night.
smell them.
Oh, because he was quite a heavy sleeper. But now I'm like, I don't even open Arlo's door to look at him at night.
No wonder they've got all these issues, these kids.
Seriously.
What number child are you in your family?
I'm the baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I go, if I have another one, imagine.
Yeah. You've got to make up for your lack of parenting of Bala.
Oh my God, seriously, that poor kid already. But, you do the best you can. And,
of course.
They are, and also having something out in your relationship outside of just your kids. So, like, sometimes we'll go, let's not talk about work or the boys. And sometimes you're like, oh,
yes,
there ain't a lot there today, is there?
I know. And you're exactly right. And you kind of, you've just taken the words right out of my mouth there, because I think Paul is not even 2 yet. And I think we're just still so much in that love bubble. But it's so easy as a couple to forget about yourselves.
Yeah.
We're so, Tom and I are very, we're flat out with our jobs. He's running a small business. I'm working in telly. We're obsessed with our boy, and you've got to make time for each other. Like, 'cause I think if the parents are okay, that's a trickle down effect, and the kids are okay and they're happy, and you need to be strong for the family.
Well, and also that strength with parents is that, like, my folks split up, and with your childhood too. Having that safety of knowing your folks are so in love, I reckon, just sets it up for a bit of an easier ride, I reckon.
Yeah. Yes and no. I was talking to a girlfriend who she's from a big Italian family.
Right.
And because we're talking about my background, she's like, I can't believe, you've come from that and, what you've achieved. And I said, but, that background is actually what helped me push myself forward. And she said, well, I came from this family that, my mum and dad were so in love, and I just didn't know that there were asshole men out there.
Right.
So the bloke that she married ended up cheating on her when she was pregnant, and she was like, I just did not know that these sorts of men existed.
Right.
Because I had this idyllic family life and home life.
Yeah.
I just wasn't prepared for it. I didn't see any of the signs. So there's a flip side to everything,
There is, which you didn't have a great pregnancy. You weren't thrilled with your last one. It was a bit rough for you.
It's a bit full on, isn't it?
I know it is. I know you feel bad saying that it's rough because
you don't want to complain because there are women who just want to be pregnant and have a baby. You feel like this ungrateful so-and-so when you're going, I'm sick all the time and I've whacked on all this weight, and, you feel like an ingrate, but it did suck, And I think it's important as well that other women know that it's not all Earth Mother and flowy skirts and, flower crowns and that type of thing. It can be really hard. It's draining. Yeah. I got really hormonal, a little bit depressed as well at the start.
So did I.
And
I went on antidepressants when I fell pregnant.
Did you?
Yeah.
One of my girlfriends described it as just feeling super grey.
Yeah.
Wow,
for
the first 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit rough, and I was just so massive at the end. I worked right up until like 3 days before I had my baby. But I tell you, you forget all that as soon as you're holding those little nuggets in your arms, aren't you? And smelling
What was your
them.
labour like?
Fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, they say shit pregnancy. Oh, no, they don't. They say shit pregnancy, good baby, or is it shit pregnancy, good labour?
Well, I don't know, because I'm not really sure, but I came a week early, and I was like, yep, I'm taking the drugs. I'm not a hero. You're my doctor. You tell me what I need to do on the day. And he's like, yep, cool, no worries. I'd had a whole pizza the night before, right? A whole pizza.
Right.
And I didn't realise I was in labour. So I thought I just had really bad stomach pains from eating the pizza.
Right.
Okay, so all night, like, I'm going, ooh, that pizza's really not agreeing with me. Oh. So all night I have these stomach pains, and then, like, in the morning I'm like, yeah, I think I might be a bit constipated or something. I think I'm constipated. I think I have to go, like, and see a doctor. And Tom's like, you're being ridiculous. You're not due for like another 10 days. Pull yourself together. I'm like, all right. I'm like, no, you need to take me into the hospital. I feel like I've perforated my bowel. Like I was just being ridiculous. I get in.
Just were you in total denial?
7 centimetres dilated.
You've done all the hard work thinking you just had a pain in your tummy from pizza. That's the best.
Yeah. So I got in there and I'm like, and Tom's like, he's like, you're such a hypochondriac. I've got a business meeting at 10. So what I'll do is I'll drop you at the hospital. I said, just wait for me. Just wait. I'll be literally 15 minutes. I'm like, park the car. This baby's coming.
Wow.
I raced in and my waters hadn't broken, which was so weird. So I, was on the gas, which was so much fun.
See, I'm such a control freak that I didn't want my mind to be altered at all.
Oh, it felt like I was at the races drinking champagne.
Did it?
Yeah. And then they said, okay, well, epidural. I had 2 epidurals that didn't work.
Oh. Yeah, I don't get how they can't work. Do they not get it in the right spot?
No,
or?
I think there's a small percentage of women that they just don't work for.
Right.
And he was a 4.23 kilo baby.
He was a big boy.
And he kept spinning, so they needed to hold his head with forceps.
And you could feel all of this?
Yeah, but I had the gas. And they got to one point where my obstetrician said, had to wrestle the gas from my hands. Said, look, you really need to concentrate now. You need to concentrate. This is the last 2 minutes. You need to push, and because you are not concentrating. Like I was telling the nurses dirty jokes.
While you were
on the gas, like, come in here. I was off my face. Like it was insane.
So were you feeling any pain or not really? No, that's a no, because if you pause like that, that's...
Well, yeah, I can't really remember.
Wow.
Yeah, and the gas has kind of really distracted you. And oh my God, that last 2 minutes though, that was pretty painful. But what was good about it was that it was mostly quick.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a case of, pizza belly.
Oh my God, that is so funny. That is such a great labour story.
It was it was, and by the time we got to hospital, I think he came in like 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
So yeah,
awesome.
Which means the next one's going to be a nightmare.
Maybe not.
Oh, I don't know. I just think no one gets out alive. No one gets out unscathed.
No, you don't get just pizza pain and then spit out a baby.
Nah. And I think it's the same. Like, Paul's been pretty good kid. He had some pretty bad colic at one point there, the first 3 months, but he's not the perfect child. He still doesn't sleep through the night now, but
mine's 5 and doesn't.
But by and large, we haven't had any real issues, and you just go, this next one's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah,
you just know.
Yeah, you do get one. There's one in every family.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who the one is, it's you. You know what I mean? That's how you know he's a bit of the shit one.
Yeah.
Number 2 feels different than number 1 too, don't you reckon? Because you go, okay, so that means that you're essentially kind of out of the game for a while.
And you know what to expect.
Yes.
You know what you're up against.
Yeah.
A girlfriend of mine described it as standing at the bottom of a very steep mountain, knowing the path and going, I got to get all the way to the bloody top. It's funny because I've sort of, we've found that rhythm a little bit now, I went back to work after 4 months. You went back to work early as well after your babies, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I know that's when I lost my job when I was pregnant, so I had like a year off.
Oh bloody hell!
But in saying that was one of and I've spoken to a lot of women, and in media it's hands down the worst out of most industries.
Horrible.
Where where I fell pregnant and essentially lost my job because I lost my job because I was having a baby. But I did.
Can you believe that happens
now?
No,
I can't believe it. But the more people I talk to about it, the more it's like,
Beautiful Talitha Cummins is one of my dearest friends, and I'm just so proud of her for going, I'm not lying down and taking this. I'm going to fight.
It gives me
back.
goosebumps thinking about her.
Well, and as she said, I want to be a good role model for my son.
Yeah.
And I want my son to know that, you don't treat women that way.
No.
But and that freaks me out, like you think, oh God, if you step away, are people going to forget me?
Yeah.
Is it? Am I going to be able to do the juggle with 2? you know, like my job is to get up and be kind of sparkly and happy and
Yeah.
interested in the morning on TV, you know, like with one it's hard, how will I go with two?
Yeah.
You've got all these doubts. And I think as well, you it's a little bit selfish, but you get used to when you're not breastfeeding and you don't have anything inside of you, not growing a child inside of you, you kind of get used to having your body back.
Totally, yeah.
Not the way it looks back, but
it becomes
that it's yours
again.
again. Yeah.
Totally, because it's not for a while.
No.
I remember Sam would go to touch my boobs. I'm like, as is.
Yeah, I know.
These are Bax's, man. You creep. Don't touch me.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and you kind of get back into that, okay, all right. And then you think, oh, I've got to do it all again.
Yeah.
And it's such a long process.
Yeah, it is.
It's so long. It's so friggin' long.